I feel like you have to be at a certain level of your relationship to talk to each other in that way or to call each other out. So this is actually the hard part, and it does come down to wisdom, because I would say in some ways that's absolutely true. But I would also say that in some ways, the only reason we got to that point of being able to have that relationship where we can call each other out is because we were willing to call each other out. So it's like the obstacle is the way. Like now we can call each other out. It's never comfortable. It's never like what you want to hear. I'm never like, oh, I'm so glad you're telling me this, babe. I know I suck at that so bad. Thank you. No, I never feel like that. I'm always like, yeah, I know. Okay, fine. Right? But it's gotten easier and more playful and less chaotic because we've practiced it and we've done it. But when we started, no, it wasn't at all easy. It wasn't at all fun. And it was often ugly. But the only reason it got better is because we were willing to do it. So yeah, I'm not going to say that there's not a time when you shouldn't do that. But I am going to say that it'll never be easy. You'll never be like, oh yeah, easy. This is the perfect time. No, it'll never be the perfect time. And it always feels, you never want to do it because it leads to conflict. And we want to avoid conflict. That's just human nature. We want to avoid conflict. Because also part of the reason we want to avoid conflict is that we equate conflict with fighting. But the truth is there's actually a difference between fighting and conflict. You can learn to have conflict without fighting. We don't want to fight. We're not talking about fighting, but sometimes there has to be conflict. You have to, the only way to really resolve differences is through conflict. And that, again, it's not fighting. It's debate. It's respectful argumentation. You know, one of the times when I called Greg out, he'd been doing this thing for years. And I'm not just saying this, I literally understood why he did it. And I had thought about it for a very, very long time. And I'm like, okay, I totally understand. And it wasn't something he did to me. It was something that he would do when we were out. And I totally understood why he did it. And he chose to do it for a specific reason. Like it was on purpose. But after I thought about it for a really long time, I was just like, no, I don't think that's right. I don't think you should be doing that. I think it's wrong. And so I called him out on it. And I literally had to have a debate with him and convince him that I was right. Because I really believed I was right because I had been thinking about it for a very long time. Now, that's not comfortable and it was conflict. But in the end, one, because I waited. So like you said, like, you know, I had to wait until I was really sure that I was sure. And then I had to have a strong enough argument that I convinced him. But then, because I did that, I did convince him and he stopped doing it. So there's a lot involved in that process. Sometimes you wait because you don't know, you don't have the right tools to convince. Or sometimes you wait because you're not sure if you should be convincing, right? So again, it comes down to the wisdom, but then once you know, then you actually have a moral obligation to call out the most important people in your life.